Love under the Eiffel Tower. Paris was a city of lights and dreams. I had always wanted to visit. One day I finally did. The streets were full of people. The smell of fresh bread was in the air. I walked slowly, looking at the old buildings. Everything was beautiful. The river flowed quietly. The sound of music came from a small cafe. People sat outside, drinking coffee and talking. It felt like a dream. Then I saw the Eiffel Tower. It was tall and shining in the sun. My heart beat fast. I had seen it in pictures, but now it was real. I stood there for a long time. People took photos. Children laughed and ran around. A couple held hands and smiled at each other. The air was warm and the sky was clear. I took a deep breath. This place was special. I decided to sit on a bench. I watched the sky change color. The sun was setting and the tower looked golden. The wind was soft and gentle. Then I saw her. She was standing near the tower. She had long brown hair. She wore a blue dress. She looked at the tower with big, bright eyes. She seemed lost in thought. She held a small notebook in her hands. Something in my heart changed. I did not know her, but I wanted to. She looked around, then wrote something in her notebook. A small smile appeared on her face. She turned and started to walk away. I felt a strange feeling. I did not want her to leave, but I did not move. I just watched her go. Her dress moved with the wind. Soon she disappeared into the crowd. That night I could not sleep. I kept thinking about her. Who was she? What did she write in her notebook? Would I see her again? Paris was big. Maybe I would never find her. But something inside me said that this was only the beginning. The next day I went back to the Eiffel Tower. The sky was blue and the air was fresh. People walked around, taking pictures and enjoying the morning. I sat on the same bench. My eyes searched the crowd. I did not know why, but I hoped to see her again. I told myself it was foolish. Paris was a big city. She could be anywhere. But still, I waited. Minutes passed, then hours. I drank a cup of coffee from a small cafe nearby. The smell of warm croissants filled the air. I watched the tourists and listened to their voices. Different languages mixed together like music, but my mind was not on them. I kept thinking about her, the girl with the blue dress and the notebook. Then something happened. A soft wind blew and a small piece of paper floated through the air. It landed near my feet. I picked it up. The paper had words written in small, neat letters. It was a poem. The words were simple but beautiful. They spoke of love, dreams, and the magic of Paris. My heart beat faster. Could it be hers? I looked around, searching for her. Then I saw her again. She stood near a street artist, watching him paint. Her long brown hair moved with the wind. She smiled as she looked at the painting. My hands held the paper tightly. I wanted to go to her to ask about the poem, but I hesitated. What if it was not hers? What if she thought I was strange? She turned to leave. My heart told me to follow. I stood up, but my legs felt heavy. I took a deep breath and stepped forward. The crowd was thick and I lost sight of her for a moment. My eyes moved quickly, searching. Then I saw her walking down a small street. I did not want to lose her again. I followed at a distance. The street was quiet. lined with old bookshops and cafes. She stopped in front of a bookstore. The sign above the door was old and beautiful. She stepped inside. I stood outside for a moment. My hands were shaking. Should I go in? Should I speak to her? I did not know what to do, but something told me this was my chance. I took a deep breath and stepped inside the bookstore. The smell of old paper and fresh coffee filled the air. The shop was small but full of books. Shelves reached the ceiling, packed with stories from all over the world. The light was soft and quiet music played in the background. A few people stood between the shelves, reading. I looked around, searching for her. She was near the back of the shop, holding a book. Her fingers traced the cover gently. She looked peaceful, lost in the world of words. I hesitated. What would I say? My heart was beating fast. I held the small piece of paper in my hand. I wanted to ask her about the poem. Was it hers? Did she write it? I took a step closer. My shoes made a soft sound on the wooden floor. She turned slightly, and for a second, our eyes met. Her eyes were deep and warm, full of curiosity. I felt my breath catch. She gave a small smile, then looked back at her book. My chance was slipping away. I had to do something. I walked to a shelf near her and picked up a book. I pretended to read, but my mind was not on the words. I glanced at her again. She turned the page, completely focused. The light from the window touched her face. She looked like a painting, like something out of a dream. Then she moved. She put the book back on the shelf and walked to the counter. My heart raced. If I did not act now, she would leave again. I gathered my courage and followed her. She handed her book to the cashier. As she waited, I stepped beside her. My hands felt sweaty, but I held out the piece of paper. "Excuse me?" I said, my voice shaking slightly. "I found this near the Eiffel Tower. Is it yours?" She looked at the paper, then at me. For a moment she said nothing. Then she took it gently and read the words. A small smile appeared on her lips. "Yes," she said softly, "it's mine." Her voice was like music. I felt a wave of relief and excitement. "You write beautifully," I said. She looked surprised, then laughed a little. "Thank you," she said. "I love writing." She put the paper in her notebook. "I thought I lost this." Her eyes met mine again. There was something in them. Kindness, curiosity, maybe even fate. She picked up her book and turned to leave. My heart panicked. I could not let her go again. "Wait," I said quickly. "Would you like to have coffee with me?" The words came out before I could stop them. She looked at me for a moment, then smiled. "Okay," she said. And just like that, everything changed. We walked to a small cafe near the bookstore. The air smelled of fresh coffee and sweet pastries. The place was quiet, with only a few people inside. The chairs were old, but comfortable. The walls were filled with pictures of Paris from long ago. Soft music played in the background. It felt warm, like a hidden corner of the city made for dreamers. She chose a table by the window. The sunlight touched her face, making her eyes shine. I sat across from her, still holding my breath. A waiter came and we ordered coffee. She smiled at me, and for a moment I forgot how to speak. My heart was beating fast, but I tried to stay calm. "So you like writing?" I asked, trying to start a conversation. She nodded, stirring her coffee slowly. "Yes," she said. "Writing is my way of keeping memories alive." She looked at her notebook and ran her fingers over the cover. "I write about places, about people, about love." Her voice was soft, full of meaning. I wanted to know more. "And Paris?" I asked. "What does Paris mean to you?" She thought for a moment, then looked outside. "Paris is a city of moments," she said. "Every street, every cafe, every bridge holds a story." She turned back to me. "And you? Why are you here?" I smiled. "I always dreamed of coming to Paris," I said. "I wanted to see the Eiffel Tower, to walk along the river, to feel the magic of this city." I hesitated, then added, "But I didn't know that Paris would also lead me to you." She looked at me, surprised. Then she laughed, a soft, beautiful sound. "That's a good line," she said. "Do you always say things like that?" I shook my head, smiling. "No," I admitted, "only when it's true." We talked for hours. The coffee grew cold, but we did not notice. She told me about her travels, about the people she had met. I told her about my life, my dreams, my love for stories. With every word, I felt close at her, as if we had known each other forever. The sky outside turned golden, then pink. Time had passed too quickly. She glanced at her watch and sighed. "I should go," she said. My heart sank. I did not want this to end. "Will I see you again?" I asked. She looked at me for a long moment, then smiled. "Meet me tomorrow," she said. "Same place, same time." I watched her walk away, her blue dress moving with the wind. The cafe felt empty without her, but I was not sad. I knew this was only the beginning. The next day, I arrived early at the cafe. The city was waking up slowly. The smell of fresh bread filled the air. The river shone under the morning sun. People walked by, talking, laughing, living their Parisian lives. I sat at the same table by the window. My heart was full of excitement and nervousness. Would she come? Minutes passed, then an hour. I sipped my coffee, but it tasted different without her. I looked at the door every few seconds. The world outside moved fast, but time felt slow for me. Maybe she had changed her mind. Maybe yesterday was just a moment, and moments do not always last. Doubt started to grow in my mind. Then the door opened. She walked in, wearing a white dress this time. Her hair was tied back, and her eyes were full of light. She saw me and smiled. The doubt in my heart disappeared. She came. She was here. She sat across from me just like before. "Did you wait long?" she asked, tilting her head slightly. I shook my head. "Not at all." I lied. She laughed as if she knew the truth. The waiter came and we ordered coffee again. This time, I did not feel nervous. We talked about everything. She told me about her favorite books, her favorite places in Paris, the little corners of the city that tourists never see. I listened, fascinated. Every word she spoke made me want to know more. She was like a book I never wanted to finish. At one point, she looked out the window and sighed. "I love Paris," she said. "But sometimes I feel like a visitor here, even after all these years." I frowned. "Why?" I asked. She turned back to me, her smile softer now. "Because Paris is always changing. People come and go. Nothing stays the same." Her words stayed with me. I did not want to be another passing moment in her life. I wanted to be something more. But how could I tell her? How could I ask for more time when we had only just met? The sun moved higher in the sky. Hours passed without us noticing. When she finally looked at the time, she sighed again. "I should go," she said. I felt the same sadness as yesterday. "Will I see you tomorrow?" I asked. She hesitated, then nodded. "Yes," she said. "Same place, same time." She stood up and walked to the door. Before leaving, she turned back. "Thank you," she said. "For what?" I asked. She smiled. "For finding my poem." Then she was gone. I sat there for a long time, thinking about her words. Paris was always changing. People came and went. But deep in my heart, I knew one thing. I did not want to be just another passing moment. Days turned into weeks. Every afternoon, we met at the same cafe. Every day, I learned something new about her. She loved old bookstores. She always carried her notebook. She believed in fate, but also in choices. She laughed when I tried to speak French, correcting me gently. She made the world feel lighter, brighter. We walked through Paris together, along the river, across the bridges, through the quiet streets tourists never found. She showed me her favorite places: a hidden garden behind an old church, a small bakery with the best chocolate cake, a rooftop where the whole city stretched before us like a painting. Every moment with her felt like a story being written. One evening, we returned to where it all began. The Eiffel Tower. The sky was deep blue, and the tower glowed golden. People around us laughed, took pictures, held hands. But for me, there was only her. The way the light touched her face, the way her eyes reflected the stars. I took a deep breath. My heart pounded. This was the moment. I reached into my pocket and pulled out a small box. My hands shook, but I did not hesitate. "I have something for you," I said. She turned to me, curious. I opened the box. Inside was a simple ring, shining under the tower's lights. Her eyes widened. She covered her mouth with her hands. "I found something in Paris," I said softly, "something I never expected. I found you, and I don't want to lose you." I knelt down. "Will you marry me?" The world around us disappeared. There was only silence, only her. For a moment she did not move. Then tears filled her eyes. A slow, beautiful smile spread across her face. "Yes," she whispered. 1,000 times yes. Applause rose around us. Strangers cheered. Cameras flashed, but all I saw was her. I stood up, slipping the ring onto her finger. She threw her arms around me, and I held her close. The city of lights had given me something more than a dream. It had given me love. As we stood under the Eiffel Tower, I knew this was not the end of the story. It was only the beginning.
Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe channel, Learn with English Story.